This is Rostra, the St. Theodore Guerin Junior Classical League podcast, where we bring the lessons of classical study into the light for the benefit of all. Welcome back to another episode of Rostra, and we've got a guest back for, I don't know, is this your third, fourth? Third show. I got to say, Stella Kolb is with us. Today, Stella, you certainly are a pro at this. You've been on Rostra several times. There's one of our bells, one of the signs that we are indeed recording in a school. So, Stella, let's just jump right into it. What's your topic and why did you pick it?
My topic is ancient Roman cities in the modern day, and I suppose I picked this just to see how the Romans and all that they did still applies to us in our daily lives. Interesting.
So, it is interesting in that, especially here in the United States, we are still a baby country. We're a little over 200 years old. That is nothing in terms of world history. And already there were towns that were built, especially, in the Old West, already gone away. But the fact that there would be any ancient cities still around and still really flourishing and alive in the modern world is quite extraordinary. So start us off. Give us one.
Okay, well, first of all, obviously we have Rome. I guess that would be the biggest, most obvious.
And I am so glad that you picked Rome as the first one. Obviously, there are several, and you're going to get into those today, but come on, let's go with Rome first, absolutely. So what's the deal? I mean, how has Rome lasted? How has Rome survived for really, at this point, close to 3,000 years?
Mm-hmm. Well, obviously, yeah, it's just founded by Romulus and Remus. And,
yep.
They keep expanding, and their government just seems to never truly fall.
And there's an old saying that when the Colosseum falls, mm-hmm. Rome will fall. And when Rome will fall, the world will fall. So I've always said if people really care about the world, you should contribute to the upkeep of the Colosseum, right? Because if it falls, the whole world's going to fall apart. But in all seriousness, yeah, you're right. I mean, the city has expanded, their government obviously as well. And the fact that just where it's located, mm-hmm. right? Central Italy, they're in the Mediterranean. It's an ideal location for trade. And of course, now you've got people coming for the antiquities and to see all that kind of stuff. So yes. Tell us a little bit more.
Okay, and then I guess next would be Istanbul, which fell, but yet still there at the same time. Founded by the Romans, but...
Yeah, now Istanbul is a later word or later name for this city. You remember the original name? Constantinople, yeah, and there's even a classic song about Istanbul and Constantinople, right? Under Emperor Constantine, mm-hmm. and you get that as once the empire split into an east and west half, basically, or east and western parts, you've got Constantinople being huge there in the east. So, and again, where it lies just geographically, a lot of trade, a lot of natural flow of people, mm-hmm. and then again, being so significant. As an ancient city, nowadays people obviously want to go there, see the ruins, see the art and so forth. So, yeah.
One of the biggest ones that I didn't really realize that the Romans exactly founded was London. I knew that they were up there, but to say that they founded it, I thought was crazy.
Yeah, no, that is a very good point. And people go, what, London? Wait, Rome? What are you talking about? Did you find out kind of how or why?
Just with their ability to build bridges, mostly.
That and the army. So many of the Roman army camps, they were so well built, just the way they were organized. You had these wonderfully straight roads, straight streets, right angles to each other, so they were very, very, very well constructed camps. Very often then when the Romans would move out, locals would move in, or sometimes Romans would stay around, and they would really develop those camps into cities. And so Londinium was the original name, and obviously we know it as London today, and major world capital city, yeah.
Yes. Another one was Beirut. I didn't know that they were all the way over there. Also, they were just everywhere, I guess, all the way in 64 BC.
Boy, you mentioned two things there I think that are significant. One is just the geographical spread of the Romans. And of course, in our class, we've got maps up on the wall, and often we'll talk about, the kind of the area that's been colored in by the Roman Empire. And really, you're stretching, and in fact, I'm looking at the map now, you stretch from Spain in the west all the way to what we can consider the Middle East today, from North Africa all the way up to England. So huge geographical expanse. And then, like as you said, 64 BC, these are cities that are, again, thousands of years old, that were established then, but very, very well, and consequently have lasted. So, yeah.
They founded many cities in Greece, which I was surprised to know also. You would think that the Greeks would have already had their selves figured out.
Sure.
They're older, but,
Sure. Yeah.
Germany, you can still go see their imperial baths. Lots of founding of cities, but still lots of architecture there.
Greece, Germany, we'll touch base on both of those. Yeah. Any place else coming up?
I don't believe
so. So, again, as we're talking about all those geographical areas, you have Roman influences, and I want to come back to the Greece in particular. Greeks did settle in southern Italy, so they went westward. Southern Italy was referred to as Magna Graecia, or Great Greece, but then the Romans also went eastward and established things in Greece, spread their culture, spread their architecture. You mentioned Germany. Obviously, the same thing is really true for France and Spain. So what is neat is that when it comes to ancient Rome, if you want to study ancient Rome, you can go to so many modern countries and see remnants, see a little bit of what it was like back in the day. So,
well, specifically that city, Thessaloniki.
Yeah, Thessaloniki.
That's one of the biggest cities as far as like going to see Roman and Ottoman past things, which I've thought that was crazy in Greece, and it's still also at the same time like a big metropolis of people too.
Big metropolis as well. And I like the fact, again, you mentioned you've got Roman, you've got Ottoman, obviously you've got Greek there, and so with, again, so many of these cities, you've got multiple cultures, multiple styles of art and architecture and so forth mixing together, and in many cases, very, very well preserved, and you can go see that. So I got a question for you. Okay. So of the ones that you kind of looked at, give me one or two that would be your top if you had the time and you had the money to go visit or a vacation or something. Where would be one or two ancient cities in a modern world that you would like to see?
I would say Roman London.
Roman London?
Yes.
Yeah, why is that?
I think that they would have probably the most to do, the most historical things to visit, most likely, that I would be interested in. Anyway. Yeah, certainly. And again, just such, certainly Rome, oh my goodness, you've got such wonderful antiquities that have been uncovered. They do a very, very nice job of guiding tourists into those. And then London, I mean, obviously you've got the Roman stuff as well, but then you've also got such great universities. You've got Cambridge and Oxford, and then there's studies of classical things that you could hit as well. So fabulous. Anything else you want to share with us? I don't think so.
Yeah, I got to tell you, this is exciting, and maybe, I don't know, maybe it'll inspire some people to take a vacation to a spot somewhere in the world where you could see Roman antiquities. Thanks so much.
Thank you for listening to Rostra. You may check out all our episodes on Spotify and follow us on social media at GarinJCL. That's at GuerinJCL.